Hello, hello, hello. I am your host, OCL, and welcome back to One Century Later. Today, we will be discussing all events from January 26th to February 1st, 1925. As with last week, all of my sources are in the description down below. Monday, January 26th, 1925. Following the request for diphtheria antitoxins on the previous Thursday, 300,000 units of the antitoxin serum were discovered in Anchorage, Alaska, enough to treat about 30 people. The antitoxin was immediately shipped to Nenana, Alaska. 300,000 units would not be enough to end the epidemic, but would be enough to slow the spread of the epidemic until a much larger shipment could be delivered. Also on this day, American film actor, philanthropist, and race car driver Paul Newman was born. Tuesday, January 27th, 1925. Following the coup in Chile that overthrew the September junta, the January junta was put into place until President Arturo Alessandri could retake the presidency of Chile on March 20th after being overthrown by the September junta back in 1924. The 300,000 units of antitoxin serum arrived in Nenana, Alaska, and at 9 p.m. Alaska Standard Time would be loaded onto a dog sled by Musher Wild Bill Shannon. With temperatures at -50 degrees Fahrenheit, he and his 9 dogs began the first run of the 674-mile relay from Nenana, Alaska to Nome, Alaska, that would become known as the Great Serum Run of 1925. Wednesday, January 28th, 1925. Attorney General and Supreme Court nominee Harlan Stone testified in front of the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee. This was the first time a Supreme Court nominee would testify in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee and would be used as precedent in 1955 when the Senate adopted the practice for all Supreme Court nominees. Stone would go on to be confirmed as the new Supreme Court Justice in a 71-6 vote. After 14 hours and 70 miles of travel, Wild Bill Shannon arrived in Minto, Alaska at 11 a.m. Alaska Standard Time and handed the antitoxin over to Edgar Calland, the next musher in the relay. Thursday, January 29th, 1925. As the relay reached Galena, Alaska, roughly 125,000 units of serum were discovered in Juneau, enough to treat about 5 people. The relay covered 170 miles on this day, the most distance traveled in a single day during the run. Friday, January 30th, 1925. The supply of diphtheria antitoxin in Nome, Alaska ran out. All hope now lay with the relay, which had just made it to Kaltag, Alaska. Saturday, January 31st, 1925. The longest run of the relay was mushed by Leonard Sepala and pulled by sled dog Togo. Sepala and Togo ran this part of the relay in -30 degrees Fahrenheit weather with a wind chill of -85. During this run, the relay crossed over the Norton Sound, a 20-mile stretch of ice that at any moment could break and end the whole relay, and potentially dooming Nome, Alaska. The team reached Isaacs Point at 8 p.m. after covering 84 miles in 10.5 hours. Meanwhile, 1.1 million units of antitoxin had just left Seattle, Washington, on their way to Nome, Alaska. Sunday, February 1st, 1925. Ahmad Zog was sworn in as the first president of Albania. Dr. Miguel Barahona was sworn in as the president of Honduras. From 2 a.m. to 3 p.m., Sapella would cover 8 miles for a grand total of 91 miles. The antitoxin would then be passed off to Charlie Olson in Golovin, Alaska, and then to Gunnar Kassan in Bluff, Alaska. Kassan left Bluff, Alaska at 10 p.m. with Balto the sled dog in the lead and 53 miles to go. A cliffhanger! Will the antitoxin make it to Nome in time? Who knows? There's only one way to find out. I will see you all next week for all events from February 2nd to February 8th, 1925. Or you can, look at the sources and see for yourself, but that's cheating.